Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Bloom Outdoors. So, if you didn't hear by the title of the video, then today we are going to be installing this, which is a like a oiled air filter. So it is not like what is stock on the truck, which is just like you have to take out the filter every time and put a new one in. This one is the pre-oiled, just cold air intake. Just came in the mail. Here's what it looks like. 5.0 V8, which is what I got. Just S&B air filter. Got it off of Stage 3 Motorsports. I bought it with the S&B air filter and the tune together in a performance power pack is what it's called. It's called like a 2018 to 19 F-150 performance pack level 1 for the 5.0. But anyways, air filter came, but that's what I'm going to install today, not the tune. So stay tuned for future videos on the tune coming, because that will be here soon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go take out the truck and we're gonna go try and do like a 0 to 60, whatever you wanna call it. I'm gonna attempt to do a 0 to 60, and then we're gonna try and install this afternoon, and hopefully it'll be the same weather conditions, which is windy, if you can't tell. We're gonna try it out before we put the cold air intake filter on, and then we're going to come back, install it, and then we're gonna try it again to see what kind of power it adds. I honestly don't know for sure how much power this thing actually adds. I'll probably look it up here soon and I'll tell you guys. All right, so I'm gonna get back over to the water tower, back up over there, back by where we live. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just come to a stop, and it's gonna be hard because the hill kind of goes up and then back down, but our test will be the exact same is what I'm gonna do. So it's not like a super good 0 to 60, and the speed limit right here is only 45, so I can't do it on this flat strip, unfortunately. But up over there, we can go that fast, but it kind of starts going uphill and then downhill, so we're gonna start on the incline part, and then it's gonna go downhill after that. But I'm gonna do the same exact drive later after we get this air intake on, and then we, yeah, we'll have like pretty close to the same results. I mean, we're not super scientific here, but just trying to see if we can get a difference just out of the weather we have today kind of thing. But we'll come around this corner, and it does say traction off. Traction control is turned off, but advanced track is still turned on. I am not going to shut that off. Just turn off normal traction control, and I'm just going to leave it in normal mode, not sport, just because this is kind of not a super scientific test, but it's a test, I guess. Come right up over here. I'm not going to brake torque it or anything. We're just going to go right off the line. All right. And there is 60. All right, so based off of my super scientific calculations there, calculated that 0 to 60 was about 6.8-ish seconds. Not exact what I'm allowed to do on my phone here, because that's what I'm filming with, and scrolling through, it said it started at like 2 minutes and 59 seconds and went to 3 minutes and like just under 6. So I'm kind of going with like 6.8-ish seconds, but it was also kind of in an uphill and the engine wasn't warm. All right, so we got this guy loosened here, and we got that one loosened right down there. And so this guy pops out of here because this was locked in there, but I just popped it right out. And then you're gonna have this wire right here along with this wire right here that go into kind of the back of this tube. So we're gonna have to unsnap or unclip those. And then I believe this whole thing should be free and be able to come off. There we go. Finally, I got this guy. There was a lot of struggle in there, but what it looks like is there is a little tab right down here, and you have to push it to the side, and you see how it loosens that. So I had to get my whole body up in there, but that's what you have to do. Push this thing. So if you're on driver's side, you get underneath it, you grab this little tab on the bottom, push it towards you, and then that thing will pull off the back. So now that we got all that stuff off, I think this guy should be loose in here. We'll try and pull it off real quick. Next thing we can do is we should just be able to take out this air box, and the new one should just install right in. So we can take this out, and then we can take out air filter. We're gonna take out this clip here and this clip here, and it should free up this guy. And then I believe it feels like there should just be this bolt right here. It should be 13 millimeter. So we'll take these two clips and that bolt out, and we should be totally loose with this and should be good to go. All right, we got both of these out. We got this bolt out on the side. This little thing attached to the back and the side here, so we had to pry all that off because we are getting rid of this old air box that is in here. So had to take all that stuff off, and now we should just be able to pull this guy out. All right, and there we go, just like that. We got the old one all taken out just fine. All right, I got everything back out of the box over there. This is not installed yet. It is just kind of just chilling right here, I guess. But first thing we're gonna do is, so the bolt that we had right here, which was this bolt, it went in like that, but we had in the side then this little rubber washer thing, and this guy was put in there to kind of hold the form. So first thing we're gonna do is reinstall this into this new box, because with this one, it is all the way around, whereas the other one was just kind of a U shape, so it popped right up out of the top. So with this guy, we're actually gonna have to put it in like right now. It's gonna be one of the first things we do because we won't be able to access it once we set the whole box in and get it put in place properly. The kit came with 8 of these little clips, and so how it's gonna work is one will go in through the bottom and one will go in through the top, and they kind of lock in on each other. But when we put this piece on, it was a nice fit going around, but there's 4 holes, one there, there, and there, and there. And so that's how that's gonna work. They're gonna get pushed in through there and they're gonna lock onto each other. So I'd say I got those on good enough. They're pretty much like tight all the way, as tight as I can get them pretty much with how I'm getting my hands in there. So then what we're gonna do is we are going to drop this intake box back into the proper placement of where it is supposed to go. And then we will get this bolt right here put back in. All right, just like that, super easy. We got this thing dropped back in place. There was 2 kind of those inlet points right there. They kind of dropped in, and there was 2 holes that the pieces slid into, and then we just got that bolt put right back in, got the extension, and put that bolt right back in there. All right, so then what you're gonna do is you had clips like this that went here and here for the old intake, but I kind of accidentally dropped one down in the grill, but thankfully enough, the kit came with 2 new ones that are just gonna go right in there, the little Christmas tree carrot clips, whatever you wanna call them. And then it also looked like it did come with a new one of these little washer rubber garment things that was supposed to go right up there. I did take the old one out of the old box, but it looks like it did come with an extra one, so maybe if yours broke taking it out or something, it does come with a new one. So it looks like it comes with new parts for everything here, which is pretty nice. Well, they're definitely a little tight fitting. As you can see, they're kind of slanted and turned to the right. But yeah, just the whole thing was kind of pushed this way a little bit. I don't know if I ended up making that too tight over there or what, but I ended up getting them in, and I just kind of hit them with the back of a screwdriver to get them pushed in all the way. So they should be good, you know, good enough at least. Might be like a little bent, but it's good enough because they are held in place. So once you get that, next thing you're gonna do is you're going to grab the filter out of the box, and you are going to slide it in here and just let it sit in the bottom of the box. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to take this inlet tube and we are going to insert it right back in here where the old one went, but it does come with these connectors for those 2 plugs there. It comes with them, so there is spots to screw them in here. So we're gonna have to screw those in, and then we can slide this new inlet pipe back up in here. So this one is bigger than this one for the threading, so it is obvious which one goes where. But as you can see, there is some extra thread left out on both of them. Not sure if it's supposed to be like that or not. That is as tight as I have gotten them with my hands. I am going to grab a wrench here real quick and tighten these up more. I'm not going to do it super tight to where the threading rips on it or anything, but that is hand tight. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a gap like that, but we'll tighten it up and see what happens. All right, I took pliers, tightened these up. As you can tell, there is still a gap here. I tightened them as far as personally kind of what I wanted to go. I wish they were flush with it, but it's not. Tighten them as far as I could, because other than that, it was slipping, and I felt like I was gonna honestly like rip the threads out or something, so I just stopped there. It's about as tight as I could get it. Now that you got those put in, we should be able to insert this right back in here, and then after that, I believe we'll put the like O-rings on, whatever you want to call them. So after further inspection, I think it will be easier if we end up putting these pieces on first, whatever you want to call them. This piece will end up going right here, so it's kind of like a seal. And then this piece here will end up going on the throttle body. I think one of the two sides. Smaller side goes on the throttle body and the wider side goes on the intake tube. All right, we got this side put in, super easy, just slid on really nice. If you can tell, there was a little holder thing, whatever you want to call this, little stick out part. I put that on the bottom because I really didn't want the look of it to be up top. So put it on like that, and then we're gonna get this side on here. We're gonna start by putting it on the throttle body. So I think I said the smaller side goes on the throttle body, so we'll get that put on. So it was a little bit of a struggle getting it on, but I ended up getting this connector thing on. I slid it all the way back on the throttle body because I wasn't really sure how far back it was supposed to go. So it does look like on the inside here, it is slid further, like it almost might be too far back. But when I looked at the outside, it looked like this whole piece back here was covered. So we'll just try and get this inlet tube back on, I guess. Or actually, I'm gonna put the connector or the O-ring thingy, whatever, I can't think of names right now. But whatever you wanna call that, this piece right here, I'm gonna get that put on first, and then I'll get those other two on once I can get this air pipe, whatever you wanna call it. I'm so lost for words right now, I don't know. I don't even know why, I just can't think. Been a long day. All right, there we go. That thing was definitely rough for me trying to get that in. It was hard trying to slide stuff around, and since I already put that stuff on, getting this big old piece shoved up in there, it was rough for sure. But looks like I did do this rubber piece right. It does slide all the way in because this air inlet pipe looks like it does go all the way. This is pushed all the way in. Looks like it's pretty flush with the edge there, so I believe that's right. We should be able to grab those bands and tighten them up around the throttle body, and then we should be able to tighten this guy up too, and we should be able to plug both of those back in. So I did get both of those clamp things on. They're not tight yet, but one thing I realized after I did it was this one right here. So this is a bigger pipe, you know, than that. That's why you needed that connector in there. This guy right here came put together, I believe. Like these two were slid in and connected when I got them. And this one right here was not. It was already opened up. The one that is opened up is smaller and does not fit right here. It only fits on that one, where the big one fits on both. But the small one does not fit up here. The small one only fits down low. And that one was opened, not put together. But let me get this stuff tightened down real quick. I ended up getting both those too tight. And it is an 8mm instead of a 7mm for those. Now we're going to get this guy tightened down. And then since we already have this in, we should just be able to put it up here. And there's already a clip, like one of these band clips around here. So we should just be able to put it up here and tighten it down, and then the cover should be able to go on. Pretty much almost got it done here. So, yep, just what I said to do pretty much. Lift it up in here, get it on, tighten this guy, get this guy tightened. I did kind of over tighten it a little bit, but it's because there was a small gap up here. I think what I might have done is I might have accidentally tightened it too tight over there. But I mean, it looks fine. I thought it was fine when I was doing it, but it does hit right here, this piece where the cover goes on. It does hit that, and you notice when it does that, it moves this whole intake pipe. And when you see it just the right angle, you can see my fingers right there of where there is light going through. So that means air is gonna go through there, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's kind of why I tried to tighten it down right here. So it looks a little bad, because it looks like it's over tightened. I don't think I did anything wrong. I think everything's right on it. All right, guys, and there we have it, just like that. It is installed. It was a little rough getting this rubber trim around here, but overall, it really wasn't that bad. And then it's like plexiglass is what this is. It was a pretty easy install, wasn't too hard. Everything should be good. We should be all installed, I guess. Let's turn the truck on, make sure it works. Everything should be plugged in. One thing I do notice though is that on the old intake, it did have a little clip right here to hold this piece, whereas this new one does not. And then I guess there is that gap up top right here. Other than that, I really don't see any issues with it. This little piece was a little long that went around here, and you can see it kind of folds in the corner. So the look isn't the best, I guess you could say, but it's good enough. So far, looks like everything's fine. Those are still in place. Our one up here is still in place. I can feel it sucking air in for sure. Put your hand down here, you can totally feel it sucking in air. And it did say on the box for it that it is pre-oiled, like when it gets to you, so you do not have to oil it before you get it, or before you put it on the truck. It's ready to go right when you get it here in the box. All right, so we got everything put back together and put away, and I let the truck sit there on idle the whole time I was doing that. Everything seemed fine. I gave her a couple revs, got it up to about 5 grand when it was sitting there. Everything seemed fine. Nothing broke, blew off, anything. So everything should be tightened down. We should be good to go. We'll go do our little comparison here again then. I don't know, I feel like it's got a little bit better throttle response, and it's definitely got some more horsepower, I think. Do the same kind of thing. Still same conditions, still windy. Same uphill here. Traction control off. Normal drive mode, no brake torque. I could definitely feel a difference when doing that. I don't know if I got it on the camera the best of that whole pull, but I could definitely feel a difference. Last time I did it, all that happened was I just spun the tire, and the tire just spun, but I kept going straight. This time I totally lost traction and my rear end was shaking, like side to side. It is really hard to tell though, because you know, I wasn't in 4-wheel drive or anything. Same thing, it was just 2-wheel drive, just a pull just with traction control off. So really hard to tell for sure, but I feel like there's definitely some more horsepower. Once I get back up to the house, I'm gonna check with the video over and look at the time and see if I notice anything different. All right, so I did the math kind of. So based on my sort of calculations that I did, then on that last pull right there with the new cold air intake, it was a 6.7 0 to 60, where the first time it was 6.8. So, I mean, if my calculations are correct, I'd say I was close enough with the corrections of them. Plus on the last one, I definitely lost traction, like a lot more than the first time. So I would definitely say that it helped the horsepower. We got more horsepower out of it. Overall, good experience, good product, I'd say. Everything should still be good together under the hood. I'll double check it one last time, but it should be good. Definitely faster, but you know, like I said, we'll be having the tune coming here soon, so we'll have some even more mods for it, and then eventually an exhaust, so we'll get some more horsepower out of that too. But for now, definitely an improvement over what we had. Nothing huge, crazy, or super expensive. S&B cold air intake. I'll leave a link for it in the description down below. Go check it out if you guys want to pick yourself up one. Thanks for watching another video of Bloom Outdoors. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.